What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, and welcome back to yet another album review. And today I am talking about the latest offering from DIGGER, Bone Collector. This also came out on January 17th, this time on Reigning Phoenix Music's RAR subsidiary. And this is the band's 22nd studio full-length overall. I checked out their last album. I think it was called Symbol of Eternity, I think it was what it was called. And I thought it was a really damn good album, so I was curious to hear what DIGGER had in store a few years after that album came out. And, well, for those who don't know, you should know at this point, but DIGGER, they're a legendary German heavy metal slash speed metal kind of power metal band. I don't know, I think calling them power metal is doing them a disservice. I think this is mostly just straight up classic heavy metal and speed metal with occasional moments of doom and thrash, I would really say, since vocally Chris Boltendahl's vocals are not very power metal-esque. If anything, they're more almost geared towards like thrash bands almost. But here we are with a new album, Bone Collector. We kick things off with the title track, and right off the rip, gritty guitar tone. I actually like the drum tone. It doesn't sound overproduced, but there are times where the drum sound, especially the snare, does sound kind of small and thin, but that's not really a big deal considering, you know, basically the performances of everybody just kicks off at Mach 10 with the title track as it gets right into speed metal riffage and D beats and just killer stuff right out of the gate. And it continues down that more speed metal route with the following track, The Rich, The Poor, The Dying. D beats of fury. There's like really cool like hammer-on riffs going on and just speed metal galore going all the way back to the 80s. Like, this whole album feels like it was geared towards the 80s style of metal across the board. Kingdom of Skulls, this one was where you got some nods to thrash. Like, it starts off with this like really cool rhythm section intro with the bass and the drums working together quite well, and then it gallops into like almost overkill levels of like galloping thrash to a certain degree. And one thing I forgot to mention too with this album, like top to bottom, when it comes down to choruses, I would say the choruses were less massive than they were on the last album, but I actually like how you still do get massive choruses just on select songs, whereas for the most part these songs are just all about the riffs. On this album, it's all about riffs and all about overall heaviness and also melody. Whereas this chorus here on Kingdom of Skulls, one of the grittier choruses you get on the entire album. And I would be remiss, excuse me, to talk about the lead work. The lead work, I would say, is flawless. Like, lead work from top to bottom, it's absolutely flawless. Shred, there's even some couple tracks where you might get a twin lead here and there, but yeah, the lead work on this album's pretty damn solid. Moving forward into where it starts getting a little heavier again, which is Killing Is My Pleasure. It's heavier, but also some more thrash riffs return once again. I would say almost like Exodus a little bit. Like, there's a little bit of an Exodus vibe all over this track, even down to the leads. Like, it starts off with some big dive bombs and into shred-tastic shred. I know that's a redundant saying, but who cares? Then we get into the second half of the album, Mirror of Hate. This is where you start to get more groove. Like, this track, it's a little more groove oriented, but it's heavier than hell. This is one of the heavier tracks on the album. But then you do get a really cool clean melody in the verses. Kind of made me think of the song Fall of the Empire by Accept, which Accept and DIGGER can have some similarities. And this would be the one track on the album where you do get like a really cool twin lead attack, which twin leads, give me more of those. But there's also some like really cool like classic metal gallops and harmonies too with the riffs. Riders of Doom, chunky riffs. Like, I gotta say, some of the heaviest riffs on the album show up here on Riders of Doom, and there's like really cool bends. Overall, it's a more nasty, grimy song. There's even a breakdown that pops in kind of out of nowhere, and even the chorus is a pretty doomy chorus, so it definitely lives up to the title of Riders of Doom. Made of Madness. I actually like how this starts off with a clean melody and bass kind of working in tandem, and then it goes right back into like classic speed metal bliss. But there's even like a couple moments where you get like this big tremolo riff on top of like a lumber. Like it lumbers along, but with like a really cool tremolo tag on top to like make things sound even more unique. Graveyard Kings. This one probably has maybe the catchiest riff of the entire album to start it off, and of course the choruses, it just gallops real nicely. Although it was one of my least favorite songs on the album, it's still good, but it lacks in comparison to a lot of other tracks. Forever Evil and Buried Alive, I gotta say, this and the closer, Whispers of the Damned, back to back, might just be my favorite songs on the entire album. Forever Evil and Buried Alive in particular, it's essentially a thrash metal song. Like, it's thrash riffs, thrashy beats in the chorus. It's overall very gnarly and vicious. But then you close off with Whispers of the Damned, start off with this eerie, clean melody and harmonized guitars, and it's the doomiest song on the album. It is pretty doomy with thick, thick bass work. But of course, I mean, production-wise, like, the mix overall is pretty damn strong. Like, everything's pretty even on top of one another. Although, like I said, the snare at times can sound thin, especially in Forever Evil and Buried Alive. That's really where the snares started to sound thin. As far as any complaints, Graveyard Kings could have been a bigger standout. And also, the song The Devil's Serenade just kind of felt like a bit of a stock 80s metal song. Like, it has a Judas Priest riff in there, and it's anthemic, and there is a really cool tapping lead, but other than that, maybe could have cut that song off the album, and I think it would have helped make this even stronger than I'm already saying it is. Aside from that song, no complaints otherwise. This is an awesome album. I think I might like this more than their last one. I'm going to give this 4.5 out of 5. Starting off the year strong with some pretty good releases, this and Faith Extractor, Horror Curie for the Sky. We're already off to a pretty damn good start, and we're not even 4 weeks into the year yet. But of course, those are just my opinions. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. But until next time, thank you for watching, keep your horns high, and your dreams wet.